Blessings, everyone. Today, I would like to offer This is the Power of Love Oracle from James Van Praagh. And when we say love, we have so many different versions of this. And Spirit has been coming through today, throughout my day, just reminding me that we compartmentalize when we use the terminology love. We have so many different ways that we want to express it. We have so many different ways we want to experience this. But one thing is, throughout all of this, is that we want to be the love. And from any place in the heart that we express love, whether it is romantic love, whether it is brotherhood and sisterhood love, friend love, love of humanity, love of Mother Earth, the list goes on and on. Being love, and in the space of love, are important for us because being love is what we are. And that's been a discussion for a very long time. Spirit mentioned today of the intellectualizing of being love. What is be love? And really, it's not being anything else than what we are. And some people may question, well, how can you be a criminal and be love? Being love is not defined by the actions that one takes. Being love is simply existing, because if we understand that even those that we see that are defiant in nature, I mean, the cougar kills its prey to eat. It kills in defense. It's not evil. It's not bad. And this is very controversial for many people, but being love is the purest form of what we are. It's our wholeness. And we can bring that through in our humanity. And this deck is a beautiful expression of this. It encourages us with different messages from Source of things that we can contemplate on different ways we can fulfill and remember this space. So first, I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And I ask that all of the higher selves of those who are watching are open for this message, and all in spirit come through to help bring a guidance for the highest good. Thank you, I'm grateful. I'm just going to shuffle. I do the 3 shuffles. The first one embodies Source. The second one embodies the fullness of spirit. And the third one embodies soul energy. And then just kind of move the cards around. And 9 times out of 10, they'll tell me which one they want. Well, this one moves very drastically, so this is the one. Self-love. You realize that love of self is necessary to love another. And as their energy pulls near, when I say they, I say all in spirit. These could be guides, loved ones, ancestors, angels, all of those in the spirit world, the unseen world, galactic family. Could be our pets. There's so many different words we could use to express spirit. But as this energy pulls forward, and they're speaking of self-love, they are encouraging that we understand self-love is recognizing that we are love. We may express love to ourselves by taking the time to slow down that day. Some would say that there are certain rituals that we could do for ourselves, whether it be taking a hot bubble bath or going for a walk out in nature. Maybe saying no to a task that normally we would have said yes to, that we really don't want to do. Maybe it's having to say no to a lot of things because we've been feeling a little struggled lately and we're choosing self-love. We're saying, you know what, today I gotta just stay in my pajamas and read a book. I can't do this today. And that is prioritizing our well-being. But it is an expression of self-love. The greatest form of self-love is when we recognize the own light within us. Self-love is being unafraid of expressing this light, whatever that is for us. Knowing and trusting our intuition. Believing in ourselves that we can accomplish a goal we've set out to do. Self-love is wanting the highest good for ourselves. It's wanting to align our spiritual nature with good mental health and good physical health. It's wanting balance. And self-love is also recognizing that we are all connected in some way. Every set of eyes that we look into each day, even if it's just for a moment that we see each other passing as we're walking in the street. If we think about that, the 1 in a billion chance that that person, that other soul has walked by us and looked into our eyes that day. What could be anyone, but it was them and us. Self-love is recognizing there's a light shared. That even though to our mental worlds, perhaps this person is a stranger and we don't know this person absolutely in any physical form, but yet the light is recognizable, and we recognize that light because we know our own. And that is allowing ourselves in that space. Self-love is allowing ourselves the healing. I've just been going through a personal struggle that reminding me on the physical world, in the physical aspect, because I've had some injuries over the years. I have a lot of spinal surgeries, and those people that know me know that I went through being paralyzed, learning to walk, having trouble wearing braces on my leg. I have spinal cord stimulator implanted in my spine for nerve damage, and just a lot of things that went on. And I've started to heal things. I've gotten moving. I've gotten myself to a place where I'm not using certain things that I used to use to ambulate. And so what they're saying is that the self-love I'm learning is not to be hard on myself on the days that it seems a little challenging. I may get up after being on the treadmill a bit and then realize the next day, oh no, I'm not going to be able to do this today. I'm really in pain. The pain comes. And they're saying that we have to know that sometimes when things get still, the self-love is being comfortable in that space and knowing it's not defeat. Just because we are accomplishing a great task one day and perhaps the next day it's a little slower doesn't mean that we've let ourselves down, or that we've not gotten to where we need to be. It just means that we are recognizing the self-love is being able to be proud of what we've accomplished, be proud of how far we've got, see how far we've got. We understand we're a work in progress, but feel that love for ourselves. It's unconditional. And that's easier said than done, because a lot of times we struggle, Spirit is saying, with the idea that we have to push, 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 go, go, go. To be the best we can be, we have to fight, fight, fight. And in many circumstances, that is the case. There's nothing wrong with having that warrior spirit and having the power and having the ability to know that we can get through anything. But self-love is also understanding when it's okay to step back and take a breath, when it's okay to reevaluate, when perhaps we've put something out into the universe and we've tried it 3 different ways, and we're having to step back and say, okay, this isn't meant for me right now. And have the love for ourselves to know that, hey, but you know what? I really gave it my best. I really tried. There was different things I got from that. I didn't see the end result I was looking for or looking towards, but there was other things that came along that, wow. It's staying in that space of light. It's staying in that place of self-love and recognizing that the light isn't going to go out. It's not going to go away. It doesn't dim. Sometimes we walk around and we go through what I call the numbness, where you're feeling like kind of blank. And sometimes that the self-love is not beating ourselves up about that. Not trying to move the energy because we feel like we're not meditating enough, or, oh no, today I didn't do my oracle reading, or today I didn't do that walk on the treadmill, or, oh, I mopped the floor, but I never got to the laundry. Self-love is saying, I mopped the floor today. And yesterday I was on the treadmill. Today I'm healing. And knowing that in the physical, there's only so many hours in the day. Self-love is knowing we do what we can with what we have. And if certain things don't flow the way we're expecting, or what we've put into it, we feel like we haven't gotten out of it, that's the time we need to step back and reevaluate and say, there isn't a moment that we're alive that there isn't something we can learn. And if we're really feeling the struggle that we didn't accomplish something we set out to do, that self-love makes us reflect and say, well, was there anything else that came of this? That's being open. That's being in that beginner's mind. That's being in that place of love. Because in the space of love, we are open to so many different perspectives. We see different opportunities. We're always expanding. In this expanded state of consciousness, we can be in love. We're not just love. We're not being love. To give self-love is through a place of the heart. It's understanding that the mind works with the heart, and the body expresses that joy. I'm hearing the wind chimes, and it's reminding me that self-love is not beating yourself up over something simple, like maybe you took 20 minutes and just sat and listened to wind chimes. And then I've done this millions of times, put myself through the guilt trip. They're saying, where we say, oh, I should have been doing this and should have been doing that. I wasted 20 minutes doing whatever it was. but we have to know that it's worth it. If anything brings us a moment to reflect and recoup, reevaluate, it's never wasted. It's a higher consciousness form of self-love. Knowing that, yes, maybe sometimes we have to prioritize. Maybe sometimes self-love is saying, well, yesterday I had the drive. I wanted to get the lawn mowed, and today I'm not feeling it. And it just, sometimes we get in this flump where we talk about that all day. Oh, I couldn't get motivated. I couldn't this. I didn't do that. True self-love doesn't beat ourselves up after making a choice. True self-love understands that what we chose in that moment was right for us. Even if in hindsight, we look back and we say, wow, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Being love is recognizing that the choices we make in the moment are based about the feelings we have, the perspective we're taking, and we should not have regret. And the only time that guilt and regret serve us is if it's going to make us improve through the next time. And that's not something to hold on to. Seeing something through the eyes of guilt or regretting something should simply be a tool that allows us to measure a different perspective for the next time. It's not a place to stay in. That isn't self-love. That's self-defeating. And we need to understand that. Self-love doesn't hold guilt as a badge. It doesn't hold regret as a badge. Beating ourselves up over something isn't going to make us stronger to do it the next time. Beating ourselves up over something is just creating a loop mentality. It's not the love that we need. So yes, it's okay to recognize if perhaps we could have done something differently. But being love, self-love, allows us that space to think about what we need to do different and then execute that the next time. Spirit is very adamant about this. They just keep saying this over and over again. I'm hearing this over and over, that self-love does not hold on to regret. Self-love does not feed guilt to make improvements. Self-love and acceptance doesn't mean that we're shortchanging ourselves or settling. Acceptance of anything is a form of self-love, saying, again, what I did in that moment was the perspective I was taking, in the awareness that I had in that moment, in the emotional state I was in that moment, in the clarity that I had in that moment. And now that I've learned differently, proceeding next time, it's going to be done differently. And that feels good. That's that nurturing. That's that healing. That's that understanding that we're all here on a journey to expand and learn and grow. So yes, Spirit is saying self-love has many different expressions. The hot bath, the indulgence in the chocolate bar, going for a walk at the beach, all these things that we do, saying no and just laying in bed with a book all day. But it's also recognizing that if we decide to do these things, not to look back on it and feel bad or think that we've wasted time. Or let the ego step in and say, well, I deserve this. I've done this and I've done that. Now it's my time for me. Because that's not self-love. That's ego-driven. And self-love doesn't need the ego. self-love doesn't know the difference between source and self. They're pulling their energy back. So I hope this finds you well, and I hope in some way this message inspires that throughout the day, just reflect on that. Reflect on what is loving myself? What is love of self? And how do I present to others my own love of self? Because it's so very important. How we love ourselves is infinitely how we're going to love others. And that could go into a whole bunch of therapy if the case comes out that way, where we could have so many different things said about codependency, or it's easier for me to forgive others than forgive myself, and all these things that we go through, these experiences in the journey. But at some point we have to let this go, and we have to recognize that there is no separation when it comes in that space. Being love, being in love, expressing love are all beautiful facets of Source that we get to experience here in a state of joy. Much, much love, everyone. Many beautiful blessings. Thank you for allowing me to share.